Hi guys, it's John here with another update on my earnings for the month of October, and the main difference this month is the loss of YieldNodes, obviously due to all the issues they've been having. But we're still on our road to $200, as you can see here, $188 in total over the month of October still, so that's not too bad at all considering the big loss there of YieldNodes. Now what I've done is actually create a new tab here, and I'm putting all my dead or ended, I guess even on hold projects in here, just to keep them out of the main spreadsheet and keep things tidier. So I don't ever want to hide anything particularly, so I can always show you this tab of anything I've lost money on. So my first loss here was in Chainmine last year. That was a scam. I did ROI on it, funny enough, and it died a couple of hours or so after my ROI video. So that's a bit of a shame. And EasyBlock Strong and Fire I have put down as just stopped basically now because, well, David Moss for the Strong Block one, and also for Fire, the team or bear market being the reason that that has just died basically. And YieldNodes, that hasn't actually died yet. I've just put it on this list because it's pointless having it on the main list now because it's not generating any income. So I've converted my euros into dollars here, and this is how much I got back. So I got about 50% back basically of my ROI, but it's currently on hold. I will move it back into the main list here if they ever sort out the YieldNodes Pro business. But at the time being, my total loss over the last 12 months is $12,340. So anyway, if we have a look at my earnings then for October, what I've done is also sort these by the percent return that I've got back. So Scarlet Chains has done really well again this month. I mean, it's just sat there constantly making money. I got 66% return this month, and basically this has now ROI'd. So I have started now just claiming the SCAR token back completely. I haven't been creating any more chains yet, but now I've ROI'd, I can start taking some profits and creating chains if I wish. So that's my plan for Scarlet Chains. So with tax included, it's making a couple of $100 every 2 weeks. So that's quite a nice one, just sat there earning in the background. Okay, so next up is Horde, and this month it's obviously returned its 1% daily so far, which is good. Now, there has been a big change since my last video on Horde, and I just want to quickly go over that. So basically they changed the way that plots work somewhat. So now if you do any claims, your plots will mutate and they'll go from earning 1% per day to 0.5% per day. Now the reason that is basically to make the whole system more sustainable, because if you have a look at the LMS here, we can see that there was a big dip starting at around the beginning of October. It was been going down and down and down, and you can see where they made the change here. We can zoom in a bit more. So we can see here where they made the change, and you can see almost instantly people stopped claiming as much as they were. Whereas before we were getting, what, 40, 50,000 coming out nearly every day. We've now stopped bleeding so much, and although there's still quite a bit, I mean, we look at today, that's 34,000 out of the daily net. So there's obviously still more coming out than there is coming in. So they have just actually yesterday put another 500,000 into the liquidity manager, and they have got plenty of other income to put into the liquidity manager if required. So it's not like this is all the money that they've got, this 1.8 million. They have got other income sources obviously, and now that the Z NFTs are going to be trading, and the bot as well, that's going to start going into the liquidity manager and hopefully give people a bit of a warm fuzzy feeling that, you know, it's not going to suddenly keep this downwards trend and, you know, empty the liquidity manager. So I think there's still plenty of time left in Horde, and they have got their play to earn game coming out soon on Android as well, so that's going to be quite interesting to look at and see what that brings into the liquidity manager. So as you can see, I've basically been waiting. So I've got 46 Horde currently available, so I have decided I'm just going to get my 12,000 back in total. So I've got my very basic spreadsheet here, which is basically working out how much it's going to cost if I start claiming. So if I claimed and it was mutated, I'd only be getting $60 if the value of Horde is under 100. So I know they are introducing limit orders, which will help that somewhat, but I'm going to try and stay non-mutated at least until my ROI. So I have highlighted somewhere down here. Basically, I need to wait until day 77 from when I calculated this to get my full ROI. And that's if I claim with the 20% tax, with the Horde being less than $100. So I've actually got 65 days remaining until I have ROI'd. So I'm just going to wait, sit it out, keep monitoring this, make sure there's enough money in there to be able to claim my 12 to 15,000, and hopefully I'll be able to ROI, and then I'll be quite happy with 0.5% a day, to be honest. If all my plots mutate, I'm not going to bother buying any NFTs. There's only a few left of the church one anyway, but I'm just going to get the ROI and then stick with 0.5%. Okay, so next up is Grape Finance, and it's been another decent month. I've managed to get a 22.5% return, and I've been basically claiming again, but compounding at the same time. So if I go into my nodes, we can see here I've currently got 2 I can compound, but what I'm doing is just waiting for this to get to about 49, or if it's past that to 199, and then I'm just compounding and claiming that sort of 40 to 50 or 49 grape without the claim tax. So I've currently got a fair bit of grape in my wallet. So I've got 940 grape currently, which is worth a couple $100 because of the price of grape being so low at the moment. So hopefully when they launch the Helium platform, that will increase the value of grape, but I'm just going to hold it for the time being and, you know, just try and just get back as much as I can. As you can see, there's a bit of a theme going on here that I'm trying to just get ROI back on things now before I go too much further. So whilst all of this isn't actually going into my pocket, it is still compounding and then earning extra money. You can see it's currently sat at 0.62% APR, so it's not bad at all still. But yeah, I am still being quite careful with Grape Finance. You can see actually down here, I've given up on their winemaker game. It's just gotten too complicated, and that's the sort of theme with Grape Finance. As good as the team are and as good as all this is, they've added so much stuff in such a short period of time. It's just, I think, just confusing, to be quite honest. So there's so many things you can do now. X-Grapes, Solera Press. You've got to now mint raisins for the winemaker game, and it's just becoming overly complicated. As much as I can understand what they're trying to do, it is actually getting so complicated that I've just given up for the time being with the winemaker game. So hopefully they'll make it slightly easier to get back into that, but it is just not worth it at the moment because the value of the winemaker token here, or vintage as it's called, is just so low. It's just not worth actually doing anything anymore with it. So just leaving that for the time being. Wine is low as well as the grape. So yeah, hopefully, like I say, this Helium, which has been delayed, I believe, when that comes out, if things start looking up, then we can think about investing, or at least selling some grape finally, which I haven't been able to do yet. So next up is Helium, and it's been another good month. I've still got 20% of my initial investment back. This has already ROI'd, so this is just free money basically. It's only $73 because the fact that Helium is so low at the moment, but it's nice that it is actually earning well still. So you can see it's around 18 HNT per month currently. So if that ever did go back up to its, you know, $25 to $50 price, I'd be absolutely laughing. I've currently got 103 HNT, which is only worth $407, so I'm not selling it at the moment, although the price does seem to be pretty low at the moment. Hopefully it will pick back up at some point. So that's Helium, and yeah, I'd still recommend setting one up if you're in a good location. They are pretty cheap nowadays, so if you could manage even half this, say $30 a month at the current value of HNT, that is, you'd be, what, maybe 10-month ROI, so it's not bad really still. And then everything after that is just a bonus. The electric use of the Helium miners is just tiny, it's a few watts, so it's not going to break your electric bill at all. So yeah, still worth looking at Helium if you aren't already. That's still providing a good little bit of passive income on the side there. So EasyBlock Horde is obviously okay, but it was set back by the fact that the Horde ecosystem changed slightly, going from 1% to 0.5% per day. So we are now getting about 0.58% daily, or at least that's what we got in October. So it's not too bad, but yeah, it's still, I've got my $1,000 or nearly $1,000 in there. So I've not ROI'd yet, but we are getting closer to that. So hopefully that won't be too far off as well. Okay, so Mysterium, it's been another good month, 110 Misc earned this month, which is about $28. So again, this is another no-brainer setup if you ask me. Just set and forget. Got a couple of Raspberry Pis set up on my 2 lines and they're doing pretty well at the moment. So I don't know what's happened. Like I say, the network just seems to be taking off a bit more now, so that's really good to see. But yeah, $28 this month. So I've nearly ROI'd. I think by next month that'll be a yes in the ROI section. That's giving back about 0.56% per day. So SCPrime, it's been another decent month. Managed to get $18 back. So for my 2 nodes here, my Windows node got 60 SCP and my Linux node got 26.8. So I'm not quite sure why there's such a big difference here, but yeah, the Windows one here managed to get 60.1 SCP and my Linux version 26.8. So both have seen, well, this has seen an increase, but this has actually seen a decrease in use. So not quite sure how that's worked out, but either way, that's a 55% increase over last month's nearly $12. So yeah, it's good to see things are still going up for SCP. And if you haven't checked out my recent video, you can now auto-announce your nodes and get rid of the duck DNS setup, so be sure to check that out so you can get your node updated. Okay, next up is JumpTask staking, and you can see here I'm about to get a nice 2.73% return here. So I've only got $200 invested, so it's not a massive amount, but we're still here with our fluid gainer staking. So I've got 100 jump staked basically, and so far this month, or last month, sorry, I got a total of 2.2 jump, which is a value of $5.46. So yeah, not massive numbers, but if you had a lot more, then you would obviously be earning a lot more. But I'm just keeping it steady with JumpTask because it's still relatively new. I don't know what's going to happen to it. So I'm just going to maybe just leave this in here and just get that $5 a month for doing nothing. So next up is my shared masternodes, and similar to the YieldNodes issue, these have done pretty badly. So you can see how I've actually lost money completely on my PNY, so that's gone. In fact, I need to move that to my dead tab. Same with Dash D, that's gone. Escrow and Monk is still just about hanging on here, so I might leave those, but let's get rid of these and stick those into the dead projects tab. So I'll sort all that out later, but yeah, basically they have died, and there's no point doing anything else with those because they have just lost everything. So let's just go back to this now. So yeah, my two other remaining shared masternodes are doing okay-ish. Their current value is pretty poor though. As you can see, that's a big loss here from my $500 initial investment, but I'll just leave them going and we'll see how they get on. So StableFuel is not doing very well either. You can see the TVL has dropped to 20,000, and they've now introduced, or they've removed the automatic refueling and claiming, because obviously people just set and forget and were claiming, and the TVL was just going down and down and down. So let's just see if this will load up this month. But basically, yeah, we can see here just a steady drop, and it's after the last couple of days of setting the automation, it's hovering around 20,000, but it's still doing pretty bad. So this is probably going to be another one to add to the loss list. I've managed to get 273 back, but now we have to refuel manually, and claim manually. That will keep the TVL a little bit longer, but it will eventually, I imagine, go to zero. PlanetWatch, I'm still getting my 133 tokens a day, so that's still doing okay. It's just under 1% back this month, so $69 back in total. Again, this is very sad to see that PlanetWatch just destroyed themselves basically, but that's what it is. It's sat there, it doesn't use a lot of electric, my Aquino, so I'm just allowing it to just carry on, and who knows, maybe in the future the value of planets will go back up into more than a fraction of a cent. So obviously I've got my Honey Gain, Peer to Profit and Earn App still earning around $15 a month, so that's quite good. And that, like I say, brings it to a total of $188 or £164. Now again, I haven't claimed all this, so this isn't actually in my pocket, but this is what has been either claimed and is in my pocket or reinvested. So it just keeps on going back in mostly, but like I said earlier, I am now making sure I get my ROI on things first, as you can see here in Scarlet Chains, which was a bit of a risky one for me to get into, but it is proving itself and it's doing really well. That being said, everything in DeFi is risky, as we know. So the grey things here are still things just waiting to pay out. So the Horde Z NFT is actually, I should probably unhighlight that now, but this is now launched. It launched yesterday, so in 21 days we should be able to see how much I get for my first zombie NFT payout. Animal Farm, it was meant to launch today. I don't know if it has, probably not. It's probably been delayed again, so I'm going to ignore that. And obviously these ones here are not live. And we've got our Grape Finance winery, which is still under peg, so it's not generating anything. So again, these are just things that I will probably hide out of view just to keep this spreadsheet clean. But yeah, the total on the amount invested in this current tab is 22.85%, which isn't bad really, considering the state of things at the moment. But yeah, obviously there is this big loss here of 12,000 or over 12,000 if I add up these additional. There we are, nearly 13,000 loss in the last 12 months. So it's pretty bad, but at least you can see not everything is rosy in the world of DeFi. So I will clean this up. That will be sorted for next time there. So there's a few things I haven't bothered investing in. There's EMP Money, which I do like the team, but to be honest, I think there's just so much going on with EMP Money, and they've not been on peg for a very long time. And they're just, every time I go in the Discord, there's 5 or 6 announcements, and to me it's just, I don't know, there's just too much happening, but very little action on the actual peg itself. So it has actually increased quite a bit actually since I last checked. I'm still not going to bother risking money in here, at least until I've ROI'd on a few more projects, because yeah, you can't just bleed money left, right and centre. As I found out, it is quite a painful experience. So yeah, my plan for the month of November is not very exciting really, just to carry on trying to get my ROI on these things here, mainly the top ones. It's going to take a long time for Grape Horde. It's going to be another couple of months until hopefully I can get my return on my investment here. Scarlet Chain, I may add a few more reds, maybe do a 50% claim and a 50% reinvestment, but we'll see how that goes on throughout the month. So I hope this video was useful. If it was, please do like and subscribe. If you've got any projects you want me to try, then do let me know down below or drop me an email. I do read all the messages that I can, and I'm just trying to not invest in anything that's too risky at the moment, because it is a bit of a dodgy market right now. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.